guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I was perusing the interwebs last night, and I came across this story, and I wanted to talk about it. And yeah, it does dip a little bit into the political sphere, but you know, this is a culture war that we're in. We are at war. It's just with via internet and information and trying to warp the minds of people to where they comply and give in to governments. And they're especially targeting men. And this is a story I came across where young men that obviously feel they have no shot at ever getting a woman, they're either upset or angry or are smart enough in their minds to have decided to game the system. And they realize that, you know, if you're a young white male, you're told you're the problem of all the world and you're the worst thing ever and patriarchy and everything else. But the minute you transition into a female or well, whatever, or you decide you become part of the intersectionality, you're stunning and brave, and now you're held aloft and paraded around society as the best of the best. And so guys are saying, hey, look, I can get a leg up here. I can jump like 15 rungs on the oppression Olympics scale here if I transition over. So I've got this story I'm going to read. It's called Transmaxxing, the incel to trans woman pipeline. Why a community of depressed young men with nothing to lose is convinced the only way out of their misery is to transition. I'm going to show you, before we dive right all the way into this, I'm going to show you a graphic that was put forth as on this kind of manifesto that's talking about this stuff. And I think it's kind of clutch because it kind of explains why they're getting into it. And a lot of this has to do with politics. Anyway, here's the graphic that they have, and then I'll get into the story, but I didn't want to break mid-story to jump over here. They say the virgin antidepressant user, frustrated rightist politics. So instantly, they're associating this with being on the right. Overpriced, no sex drive, not actually happy, lied to by chemicals, will be forgotten immediately. Seriously, there's millions of you. Pills don't work anyway, crappy clothes, literally no one cares about you, atomized individual, destroyed personality to be more useful to a system that hates them, will never have a girlfriend, not cute, never will be, getting uglier. That's how they describe the men that they're targeting. But what they say is once you've made the leap, you're growing more feminine, living a sexual fantasy 24/7, one of the most oppressed minorities, women and leftists will love you. Authentic happiness, can sleep with men whenever she wants, probably with women too. It works. Those boobs are real, yo. Bargain HRT from Kyiv. You're actually special and worth remembering. On the right side of history, gets to wear all the fun stuff. Massive friends group and of other transitioning people and cis women. Expresses personality fully, does not care about productivity. That's their end target, is to tell you you're lonely, you're sad, you're never going to be with women anyway, you're a part of the most awful group on the planet, but once you make this leap, everybody loves you. You'll have a huge friend group. You can probably be with gay women. Like they're going all in on this stuff, and some guys are taking the bait. Now whether they're making a calculated leap, which I think some of them are, because many have said, I'm not doing any surgery or anything. I'll just wear the clothes. But this is the targeting they're doing. And again, you notice they did insert politics in there. Oh, you're going to be on the right side of history now. Lots of leftist friends and everybody will love you. They're going to use these guys. These guys are going to do massive harm to their body. They say, why is the community, I read that part, that a large and growing subset of men are literally incapable of getting laid is a seemingly benign issue that actually impacts our entire country, intersecting every controversial topic from technology, addiction, and toxic masculinity to the population crash. But more recently, as the involuntary celibate, incel, subculture works its way through the funhouse mirror world of our 21st century internet, it has strangely and perhaps inevitably intersected with the trans community. Long story short, what if you hated women so much you decided to become one? It's not even necessarily that you hate one. I think you're seeing, hey, everybody seems to put them on the cover of magazines, and they're heralded as champions, and everybody hates me as I am now. So why not make the leap? I mean, it only makes my life easier to get a job, easier to be liked, easier to get attention from other people. They say, so where do you go? And they're describing basically the celibate men. And they say, so where do you go? Do you succumb to temptation? Do you self-delete? Well, they say for some men, the solution to despair of living as an isolated, unhappy male is straightforward: become a woman. They call themselves transmaxers, and they believe gender transition can be an effective tool for escaping the misery of involuntary celibacy, social isolation, and professional mediocrity. More broadly, they see this as potentially revolutionary response to a world where the combination of industrialization and biomedical technologies such as vitro fertilization and sperm donation have eroded the financial and reproductive opportunities previously available to most men. Like many revolutionary movements, they operate semi-clandestinely, preferring Discord and Twitter and YouTube, and express their beliefs primarily in the form of manifestos. The latest, a 73-page document publicized in April 2022, includes chapters like how society benefits from people transitioning. Incels will become less likely to develop or maintain problematic political beliefs or become violent. They will instead benefit from accelerated hypergamy and gynocentrism. So they're saying basically, hey, you know what? You will correct your political thoughts. You're not going to have these harmful thoughts because we're going to leach all the testosterone out of you. And you can now be part of the hypergamy and the gynocentrism, and you can use men, and you can fool them and help them level you up. They literally do say that in one part of this. They say how to transition, 13 steps process that involves other things, watching anime and sissy spicy movies to induce dysphoria, banking your juice, and beginning the hormone replacement therapy. They have it way better. They say these transitioned women have way better sex than Chad on estrogen. You will experience multiple full body happy faces. And here's the thing, guys. I know this is kind of weird and kind of gross, but this is happening to our youth. We can't just keep ignoring this stuff. You know, it's small, and it's kind of a very odd subset of society. But, you know, at some point, transitioning people were too. And now something like, I think in one survey of students, 25 or 30% of them identify as being part of this group, the LDHD TV community. So, you know, we need to head this off at the pass here, or before you know it, in another 5 or 10 years, this will be the norm again. And this is why they're repressing men. This is why they're telling men are awful and you need to stop being masculine and it's toxic. And, but women are stunning and brave and amazing. And also transition people are stunning and brave and amazing. They're trying to warp our youth, and it's starting to work. And now they're going the next level deeper. They're going after sad men, young men that feel like they don't have any prospects and everything's gray and gloomy. But if you do this, everything will be rainbow and beautiful and awesome, and your life will improve 100%. And all they're doing is they're taking confused men, confusing them more, and if they do start this process, sterilizing them. And you think this is going to improve them? Of course it's not. They said the 1,200-member Transmaxxing Discord includes men who have made the leap, those who are merely interested, and everything in between. Some men in the Discord are there simply because they have a kink for forced feminization, a form of fantasy roleplay in which a man is forced to assume a stereotypically female appearance and submissive role. I have to change some of these words for YouTube. But one of the admins on the Discord and the compiler of the Transmaxx manifestos told me most active members seem to be on HRT, and though he insists that most of the incel community are against it, and incels do not participate in our space as much, the manifestos and Discord chat suggest that many Transmaxxers previously identified as incels. The Transmaxxing Success Stories chapter in the manifesto attests to the existence of an incel to Transmaxxer pipeline. These are some examples. 4 years ago, I was an edgy, right-wing, anti-SJW teen who was borderline going their own way. Now I'm a gay cat girl dating an anarchist trans girl. Another one says, I was more incelish against the trans community than anything. Looking back at my past kind of disgusts me, but now I'm good with myself. Honestly makes me wonder how many incels that are in trans denial. Another one says, I used to run in neckbeard 4chan incel circles. Now my name is Rebecca and I'm a girl. When did that happen? They're taking sad, lonely, isolated, confused, weak men, and they're basically grooming them. And they're telling you, hey, you do this and everything will be great. But here's the thing. Yes, on very certain circles on the internet, you will be appreciated and loved and everything else. But you know something? These men are still isolated. They're alone. Everything that the communication and the yay person, you're great on the internet, that doesn't translate over into the real world. This is the same person that you see that's probably a 300-pound neckbeard that has stubble and lipstick on in a dress, walking down through town, and nobody accepts that person for who they are. And he's going to feel isolated in the real world. That leaves the internet and being alone and interacting on these channels, the only place where you get any sort of community, and that's not healthy. I need to jump some of this stuff. I'll try to remember to leave a link down below. This is from Pirate Wires. But oftentimes they're saying that this kind of stuff falls into the kink stuff. You know, because they start talking about, you know, the sexualization of this stuff. And I'm not going to read down all through that because, again, this is for YouTube. So I'll leave it here. I don't want to go too long on this one. I'll leave it here. I'm going to keep reading, but I'm going to read the rest of this for locals. I'm not going to do it here on YouTube because this is already a challenging video to put up over on YouTube. If you want to see the rest of this, jump over to betterbachelor.locals.com. I'll continue the reading. We'll talk more about this stuff and the devastating effects this is having on men. This is what they want to do. They want to confuse men. They want to tear down their lives. They want to ruin them. They want to sterilize them. And these are the young men that will end up self-deleting when they realize that they haven't improved anything. They've only made things worse.